Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome or welcome back to Chef Vic Cuisine. Today we're making a lemon herb Mediterranean chicken salad, and I'm very excited to announce that we're working with a great company that produces a cool knife set to get the job done. And so without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so starting off the review, I want to say what I really enjoyed about this knife set is that it comes in several layers of boxes. So you can be sure that the shipping and handling of this product is top tier. So getting to the main box of the knife set, I have the BFONDER Classic Kitchen Knife Set, model number BF002. And if you look at the sides of the boxes, it shows you a brief description of each knife that comes in the set, as well as its dimensions, and I'll get into those details in just a few seconds. And on the back of the box, it goes over the product features as well as how to store and use these knives, and it even goes into some maintenance tips such as sharpening and cleaning the blades. But what I do want to point out specifically on the back of the box is that it tells you that these are high carbon stainless steel blades with a special design that features an irregularly intricate patterning on the blades that provides superior strength as well as razor sharp edges. So let's get into the box and see what we have here. So within the main box you have two large box sets, one that contains the knife set and one that contains the knife holder. And just one more thing I want to mention as I'm opening these boxes is that they really thought about safety first by making sure that each knife has a guard on it to make it super safe during the unboxing process. So now let's check out what items we have in this set. Starting off, we have the multifunction clip, where with this kitchen tool you have a tongs feature on the back end, the blade for cutting, as well as a peeling feature on the side. So this one's a really unique piece in this knife set, capable of removing fish scales or even being used as a bottle opener. Next up, we have the 8-inch slicing knife. This is a thin blade, easy to carve and slice, and is especially suitable for denser and larger items like sashimi and ham. Next up, we have the workhorse of the kitchen, the 8-inch chef knife. Now this excels at smaller tasks like chopping up herbs or julienning carrots and mincing garlic, as well as larger tasks like dicing a large onion, spatchcocking a chicken, or slicing a ham. Next up, we have the 8-inch bread knife. And this can not only be used for bread, but also some delicate desserts such as cakes, or food that may be hard on the outside but soft on the inside, as many breads tend to be. Here we have the 5-inch serrated utility knife, and this is ideal for smaller slice jobs, such as on bagels or sandwiches. Moving on, we have our 3-inch curved paring knife, and this is great for peeling fruit or vegetables, or even creating some delicate garnishes. Here we have our 3.8-inch fish knife, and now this is a special knife used for dissecting fish belly or deboning and cutting fresh meat. Next up, we have one of my other favorite knives to use, a 6.5-inch Japanese Santoku knife. Now these are used ideally for mincing, dicing, and slicing, but in many cases these can be interchanged with the chef's knife. And finally, we have a knife sharpener, making the sharpening quicker and faster for all these knives, as well as a brush that's a great helper for cleaning. And the knife holder is perfect for storage of these knives, as each slot has a perfect width for each particular knife. And one last thing I want to point out, besides the packaging having a sheath and covering over each knife, is that each knife also, as you saw, had a knife guard on it as well. So the creators of these knife sets really thought about safety first when it comes to customer satisfaction, and I really appreciate that. But overall, this knife set is really cool in the fact that it has both everyday use knives as well as specialty knives all in one 11-piece knife set. And now let's use this knife set to create an amazing meal. Hey, I just wanted to drop in real quick to say I hope you're enjoying this knife set review thus far, and if you are, it'll really help me out if you hit that like button for me. Because what that does is it helps boost this video's performance in YouTube's algorithm so that more people can see this video. And so I thank you all in advance for hitting that like button for me. Alright, now let's get into making this recipe. We're going to start this recipe off by preparing the ingredients we're going to need for our dressing. And for this part of the recipe, we're going to use our chef knife to get the job done. So here we need about 2 tablespoons of fresh basil chopped, and as you can see, that knife cuts through the basil so easily, making this part of the recipe so easy. Next, we need about 1 tablespoon's worth of fresh oregano, and for that, we want to remove the stems of the oregano first, and once we're left with the leaves, you want to take your chef's knife again and mince down that oregano into small bite-sized pieces. And for our other herb of this salad, we need about 2 tablespoons worth of fresh parsley chopped, and with this knife, that chopping process is so easy. For the garlic, we only need 2 cloves of garlic, and we need those minced. And so for that, we're going to use the broad side of the knife to crush the garlic to make it easy to peel off that outer layer. And then using the knife, we're going to finally mince it into tiny pieces. And one last thing we need for the dressing is the juice of 1 lemon. And so you want to take just 1 fresh lemon and slice that in half for use in a juicer, or you can squeeze out the juice by hand. Now, in a large bowl, you want to mix 2 tablespoons of olive oil with the juice of 1 lemon, 2 tablespoons of water, 2 tablespoons of red wine vinegar, your chopped parsley, your chopped basil, your chopped oregano, as well as your minced garlic. Whisking all these ingredients together until they're well combined. And half of this will be used for our marinade of the chicken, and the other, which we'll reserve about 5 tablespoons worth, will be used as the dressing for the salad. And we want to refrigerate our reserved dressing for use later on in the recipe. Now for the meat of this dish, we need 1 pound's worth of skinless, boneless chicken thighs. And using our slicing knife, we want to remove any excess fat from these thighs. And then once that's done, we want to season the chicken thighs with a thin layer of salt and black pepper on both sides of all the chicken thighs and press that seasoning into the chicken. Now we want to place the chicken in the marinade portion and make sure that all of them are well coated. And allow this to marinate for at least 30 minutes and up to 2 hours. And while the chicken marinates, we can prepare the salad ingredients. And for dicing the salad ingredients, we're going to use our Santoku knife. Starting with 1 large cucumber, we want to create thin slices throughout the length of the cucumber. And for ease of dicing, we want to stack those layers of slices and chop them into smaller triangle-like pieces. And as you can see, this knife does a bang-up job at doing that. Next up, we have our red onion, and for that, we want to cut off the root and the stem of the onion, slice it in half, and create long thin slices of red onion by cutting along the width of the onion. And this knife cuts through the onion like butter. And don't forget to separate the layers of the onions to make it easier to toss the salad once we've combined all the ingredients. And finally, what I feel is a great test of a knife's utility, we need 2 Roma tomatoes diced. And as you can see, this Santoku knife easily cuts through the skin of the tomato, making the dicing of this tomato super easy and straightforward. And if you cut a few tomatoes in the past, you know how slippery they can be when it comes to slicing, but with this knife, I never had that issue. Next up, we need about half a cup of feta cheese diced, and all this takes is a few slices of the knife to create those bite-sized pieces of feta cheese that we want. We want to transfer all these diced vegetables and the cheese into a large bowl, and using a pair of tongs, we want to toss all these ingredients until they're well dispersed amongst themselves. Next up, we need about 4 cups worth of romaine lettuce shredded, and using our knife, I like to first cut long thin strips of the lettuce, and then I double back with the knife and cut those into pieces to create mini bite-sized pieces of the lettuce. Transfer your diced lettuce into the large mixing bowl, give all those ingredients a toss again, and now let's move on to cooking our chicken. Now that our chicken has had time to marinate, we want to heat 1 tablespoon's worth of olive oil in a large frying pan over medium-high heat, or 375 degrees Fahrenheit, or 190 degrees Celsius. And once our pan is hot, we want to add in our marinated chicken thighs and cook them all for a total of 16 minutes. And my cooking technique involves flipping each thigh in 2-minute intervals. And this ensures that each thigh gets an even cook and a slight char on each of them. And for this process, that requires you to stay by the pan as they cook, but this is a sure way to get perfectly cooked chicken thighs every time. Once all the chicken has been cooked, transfer them to a plate or a flat surface and loosely tint them with aluminum foil and allow them to rest for at least 5 minutes. And while our chicken is resting, we want to take a 1/3 cup of pitted Kalamata olives and slice those in half lengthwise and add them to our mixed salad. And for garnishment, when we serve our salad, we want to slice up a lemon into wedges, as well as peel and pit an avocado and cut that up into thin slices as well. Now that our chicken thighs have had time to rest, we want to take our slicing knife and cut the chicken into thin slices. And as you can see, this meat is fully cooked, super tender and delicious. And for plating, I like using a large serving bowl and creating a bed of that fresh salad that we made. And on top of that, we want to add on our sliced chicken thighs, some lemon wedges, as well as some sliced avocado. For final touches to the salad, I like adding a bit more black pepper, as well as drizzling on that we prepared earlier on in the recipe. And with those final touches, this salad is ready to be served and enjoyed. And just like that, you've made a lemon herb Mediterranean chicken salad right at home. This is filled with so many great flavors, and as you saw, it's really easy to make, and this recipe has enough ingredients to make 4 to 6 portions. So this is definitely a great meal prep option. Just wanted to give another great shout out to BFONDER for their amazing knife set. It made making this salad super easy. Check out in my description box a link to this knife set, as well as a discount code you can apply towards this purchase. This knife set has been a great addition to my kitchen. I'm really pleased with them, and I know you will be too. Thank you all so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this knife set review and the recipe, and if you did, make sure you smash that like button for me. It's one of the best ways to show support for this channel. And if you're new to the channel, my name is Victor, and welcome to Chef Vic Cuisine. It's my goal to create new recipes for you each and every week that you can make for yourself, your family, or your friends. So if that sounds good to you, make sure you click that subscribe button too. And sharing is caring, so if you enjoyed this recipe and think someone else will too, feel free to share this with all your family and friends. Thank you all so much for watching again. You all are the best. Check out more recipes on my page now. YouTube says you'll like this video, so let's see if they're right. And I'll see you next time on another episode of Chef Vic Cuisine. And until then, peace.